oboes, today we're gonna talk about the parts of your instrument. First off, before I open my case, I'm gonna make sure it's right side up. Label is on top, and the bottom part of my case is a little bit thicker than the top part of my case here. The pouch doesn't count, and the pouch is always gonna be on the top. So I'm gonna unzip this case and open it up. So it should look something like this. Okay, we've got a few different parts of the clarinet, of the oboe. I just taught clarinet class, sorry. This shortest part right here, let's start with this. This is called the bell, okay? And the bell, you have one key right here on the bell, and you also have this right here, which is called a bridge key. This connects to the joint that goes right above it. So always be really, really careful when we're putting this together to make sure nothing gets bent. If this bends, your oboe will not work, okay? And when you put it back, we want to make sure it goes directly back in the case where it came from. Now you have two other joints. There's a way to tell them apart, okay? This is the lower joint. It's slightly longer than the upper joint, okay? The upper joint also has this over here, okay? Where the reed goes, and we'll talk more about that at another time. But when I take my instrument out of the case, I'm going to use my first fingers and thumbs to make sure I lift evenly straight out. This is called the lower joint. Now, I've got this little cap on the end that covers up the cork to help protect it and keep it moist, okay? But you won't play with that on, okay? So this is the lower joint. There are lots and lots of keys on the lower joint and lots of rods. These big long things on the side are called rods, okay? And the rods will bend really, really easily. So notice the way I'm holding it, I'm not touching any keys or rods right now because I don't want to break them, okay? You also have these keys. These will be pinky keys that kind of stick up. So we want to be really careful that we don't bend these. And then we have some other bridge keys that are also there going up to the upper joint. This right here is the thumb rest on the back of the lower joint, and that's where my thumb will go so the oboe can rest on my thumb. Okay, so keys, rods, lots of keys, and the keys are a little bit bigger on the lower joint than they are on the upper joint. I'm gonna replace my cap and put that back in the way it came out. And then this, same thing, I'm gonna pick this up the same way. Just 2 fingers and a thumb, okay? This is my upper joint. And again, I wanna hold it so that I'm not touching keys or rods. This is that cap that protects the cork right there, okay? Notice the keys are just a little bit smaller on the upper joint, okay? There's some side keys. These bend really, really easily. So as I'm holding the instrument and when we start putting it together, be really, really careful. There's the bridge keys on the back that connect to the rest of the instrument. This key is the octave key, and then there's lots and lots of rods and keys. Now, if you look right here, this is where your reed will go. We'll talk more about reeds later, but this is where your reed actually fits in to the rest of the oboe so that you can play the full instrument. And that's it for the parts of the instrument. That is the oboe.